Good morning, Speakers Group, getting paid or getting booked in 22 days as a public speaker. Today, what I want to give you is just a little bit of background about some steps that you'll be doing. So today, the lesson's not actually linked to a particular topic day, but it's basically some background which is going to absolutely accelerate your results. Do these exercises and I guarantee it's going to work. So well done those of you who have been just smashing the videos out and commenting on each other's videos, supporting each other and cheering each other on. I just love it. I mean, I've been going through the videos and I'm like nearly kind of in tears going like, this is amazing. Thank you so much for showing up. So if you're ready, I want to begin with give you an exercise called the DDFF, and what it is, it's a way to read your client's mind in advance. Not literally, not like telepathy, but if you do this exercise, you will have so much better, clearer, 1,000 times clearer understanding of what's going on in your client's mind before you sell to them. So this could be that you sell to your client from the stage or through a video, or you sell to the guy who owns the stage so that you can sell to the clients later. However you're selling, this is the thing that needs to happen first, your DDFF. So if you're ready, get a paper and a pen, pause the video if you don't, get a paper and pen now because it's not one of those videos you watch for motivation, I promise. This is a technical video to tell you some steps of what to do. So before we even get to the pitch, which isn't today's topic I think, but before we get to the pitch, the DDFF needs to be done so we understand, well, what's going on for the client. Because you could be selling hypnotherapy, you could be selling coaching, you could be selling NLP, you could be selling books, you could be selling seminars, you could be selling anything. That's what you deliver. But the DDFF is more of what's the conversation that's going on inside the client's mind and how do you pull those psychological triggers? How do you get that authority so that they know that you're the one that's going to help them and they're going to pay you? So if you've got the paper and the pen and you've got it now and you're ready to go, then let's go. So if you can start by drawing a cross on the page, so like, as you can see the cross. And so at the top of the page, you've got your client's future, and at the bottom of the page, you've got your client's now, as in their current moment. And then to one side, you've got what we call the positives, and then to the other side, you've got what we call the negatives. So positive, negative, future, now. So we've got a graph. This is telling you about the mindset of the client. So when you put out an ad or when you put out a pitch or when you put out any form of, like when we talk about the speak up and reach out, when you do any form of reach out, you need to know this cross before you even attempt to reach out to someone to make sure that your advertising budget's not wasted or that your phone call time and energy isn't wasted. So if you've got this cross, this is how it works. The DDFF stands for dreams, desires, fears, and frustrations. And so you can probably already see how it fits into this graph. But just to show you, let's take dreams as the first one. Would that be a positive or would that be a negative for the clients? Of course it's a positive. I'm just asking questions just so that as you're watching the video, that you answer these questions before I even answer them, just to make sure that you're engaged, to make sure that you're engaged when you actually do this exercise with your clients, when you're making these sales. So dreams is positive, of course. Is dreams to do with more future or more now? Of course, dreams is to do with the future. So it's future positive. So if you've got future and you've got now and you've got positive and negative, where does dreams go out of all four of these squares that are made by this cross? Where do dreams go? Good. So now that you've got the dreams quadrant set, your dream for your client, your client's dream is to achieve something in the future. What I want you to do is to write out 5 things that your client actually wants to achieve in the future. Now there's 5 categories of broad categories or topics that you can sell. There's basically health. And so a dream for health could be that within 6 months or a year, I'm going to have my dream body, or I'm going to live longer. Because like live longer is not really a now thing. So like when someone wants to eat healthy, that's more of a kind of a future thing. They want to be alive for their grandchildren's wedding or whatever that is, if that makes sense. Health, there's relationships to say that they want to, let's say that if they're pretty young and they're on the dating scene and right now they just want to find out how to find a date, later on their dream could be to get married. But right now that's not a desire, it's a dream because it's in the future. Because they actually don't desire to get married until they have gone through the other steps. So after there's health, relationships, there's time, which includes 2 kinds of topics going on. Time needs boundaries where they can protect their time and have a schedule to say yes and no to things by protecting it. And time is also about efficiency. If you can help speed them up in any way, they love that. As in that I have a thing that just drives me nuts and I like you to make it faster for me. So there's after health, relationships, time, money. So the dream of money could be that they want to own assets, they want to have an empire, they want to have a business, they want to have something like that. But the desire of money is more kind of they want to get through, they want to buy something nice for themselves right now. And so then after money, then happiness, they want to do something that really sort of lights them up. And so then after you've got the dream quadrant done, with desires, is desires positive or is it negative? So of course it is positive. Is desires future or is desires now? Of course desires is about the now, or at least just go with me on this one and let's just call it the now, just so that we can do this exercise. So dreams is about your client's future and desires is about your client's now. So when it comes to those 5 categories again of health, relationships, time, money, and happiness, pick one, only one of those, because I want you to only be, to begin with, to get booked, focus on one topic. You know that proverb of the person who chases 2 rabbits catches none? So I want you to focus on one thing to sell your client now instead of 100 things. In the future, you can do as many as you want. That's fine, absolutely fine. But for this 22 days, we really just want you to pick one thing so that you can start getting booked. So this is how this works. If you want to get booked within the 22 days as a public speaker, you can't just be divided. Your attention can't be sort of scattered all over the place. You've got to pick one problem that you're helping a client with and build everything else around that. Or else the whole thing doesn't get built because you didn't pick the one thing. So once you've done dreams, I want you to do desires. So where you put in the 5 desires that you think that your client would have. You've got the 5 dreams that your client would have. Now you've got the 5 desires that your client would have. Then the next one out of fears, is fear a positive or a negative? Fear is a negative. So is fear a future or a now? A fear is the future because it hasn't happened yet. Does that make sense? And then the frustration, is that a positive or a negative? Well, there's only one spot left. So that frustrations are things that are negative and they're currently bothering your client. So I want you to come up with 5 things for each category around only one problem. So if you're helping people, let's say like when I first started with quit smoking, the idea with quit smoking, just to fill this thing out for you, dreams, they want to become healthier and live longer. They want to be able to see their grandchildren grow up. Desires, they want to be able to afford more stuff and because they're not spending so much money on cigarettes, and they want to be able to have a greater lung capacity to be able to move more. Fears, they're going to die. They're going to kind of maybe, because a lot of clients that I've had, their parents actually have died and that's what brought them in as a client. Their frustrations, that they hate having to fork that money over all the time. With frustrations, they hate being teased as a smoker to go, oh, you're still smoking, why don't you just quit that stuff? With frustrations, they hate perhaps the smell, the guilt. They hate kind of like always hearing about these fears they're going to develop or have developed. Does that make sense? So already for smoking, we've done dream, desire, fear, frustration. But let's pick something to do with, let's say, relationships. What is a relationship dream? Maybe marry the ideal partner. The relationship maybe desire could be to meet the right partner. The relationship fear could be losing their partner that they already have or never finding the right partner. And the frustration could be rejection. And all 4 of these things, the dreams, desires, fears, frustrations, are all a different category. What I want you to do, again, come up with only one problem, 5 different dreams, 5 different desires, 5 different fears, 5 different frustrations for the problem that you're helping people with. And that's what we call the DDFF. So if you have done that, if not, pause it now, write it out, and then come back to the video and keep going. Fantastic, you've done your DDFF. This is your launching pad for everything else that you do. When you tell a story, we're going to give frameworks for stories, that's fine. But if you haven't done your DDFF, then what is the story even going to be built on? Does that make sense? So do the DDFF because it is just so amazing to getting inside the mind of your client. Everything that you put out there needs to come from your DDFF. If you haven't done your DDFF, then you don't know your client, and I'm serious about that. Now, just to get quickly into some of the camera techie stuff, because I just want to, give you some confidence, because you guys are amazing. I've seen your videos. You guys are nuts amazing. So just to show you, this set that I'm in is actually just my office. These are just my curtains. I'll show you like if I stand back kind of actually against the curtains, just how much room I actually have to stand back, where it may have looked as though I was standing kind of like with my back against the curtains. But notice how like it doesn't look great, even if the camera was closer, it doesn't look great for me to be actually glued to the curtains. Or as people, sometimes as they do their first videos, they put their shoulders against a white wall and you can see shadows around their shoulders. Think about the news when you watch the news. There's always space behind people. They've always got a nice big space behind them so that they're not feeling claustrophobic, if that makes sense. Or think about every video that you like. The person's always got space behind them. Always got space. So number one, always have space behind you. When you do videos outside, this problem's already solved. Another one is make sure that the light on your face, whether your video is too dark or too bright, is not as important as that if the light on your face is even on both sides. So I'm going to grab a clipboard and I'm going to hold it on one side so that, you know, the shadow on my face is kind of uneven. That doesn't look as good as having both sides lit. And the same as kind of the other side. It kind of looks a bit weird to have one side of the face dark and one side light, because it kind of looks like maybe the person belongs in a CSI, you know, procedural crime show, and that's not so cool for videos, if that makes sense. So the light needs to be even on both sides of the face. So if you can, stand towards the sun if you're outside, or have a light. I don't have a professional lighting system in this room. These are just the lights. This is just where I happen to be. I just want to show you some stuff on my phone, because I'm recording on my phone, and I want to show you some point of view of what I'm doing. So now talking to this camera, as you can see that I'm just kind of in my office, and I've got, again, the curtains behind me that you saw, and then there's my computer desk, very messy, my coffee's still going, and then there's my camera. So I've got the curtains to my waiting room, and I've just basically stuck the tripod on a chair, and there it is. There is my iPhone, and you can see it's recording you and you're recording it, and it's an infinite loop forever. So basically, all I'm doing is using my iPhone, and so it's so incredibly easy to set up a camera and talk to it, have the lights right, but I've also got this thing called a swivel. So if you can get a lapel mic, so the swivel, what it is, it's basically, it comes with a microphone and it's a stand to hold my iPhone, and it links my microphone to the iPhone. It also can move around like a robotic swivel, and that's why it's called a swivel. But if you can get a lapel mic, then your voice will be fantastic. So that this is the microphone that I've been using. So just to kind of show you how it affects the video, I'm going to put the microphone down and walk away just to hear how it affects the video. So I can say, hey everyone, I'm Scott, and can you maybe like hear more of echo in the room? You can hear the echo because the microphone's not on me. Cool. So what we have covered so far is the DDFF is the way to read your client's mind, and you want to have space behind you, even light, and a microphone, and you can use your phone. Use a stand if you can. There's something I've got, which is a little mini stand. It kind of looks a little bit weird, but the iPhone sort of fits in there. Or any kind of phone fits in there, and you can set it up and hook that to anything, and it's just amazing. It's like a little camera thing. So I really hope that that helps you with what you were doing. It doesn't matter where you are. Just look for a set that's not too distracting. Nature's fine, even though there's a lot of detail in it, but don't have a distracting set. As in, don't have something that's kind of like in the background that people are kind of like wondering, why is that thing there? Does that make sense? So, I really hope this has helped you. You guys have been amazing. Do your DDFF. If you haven't done it already, go back and do it, because everything else is going to be based on the DDFF. In another video that I'm doing, I want to tell you about the thing called the three-part act, or it's also called the hero's journey, or the hero with 1,000 faces, or the monomyth, or otherwise known as every single story that you've ever heard in your life is based on the hero's journey. And so that's something I want to tell you in a video soon. So get out there and smash out these videos, guys. I'm just so proud. You guys are amazing. Talk to you soon.